My boyfriend's back and we're gonna do a podcast.
Hey,
Let's do some diaper stuff. Welcome to Love in Brief, a not actually brief ABDL podcast focused on issues of love. Love for self.
Yep.
Love for community.
Yep.
Love for diapers.
I love that one.
Love for our online friends that are looking for a little bit of advice.
We got a bunch of those.
That's right, y'all. It's time for another question roundup. Yeee-haw!
Yeee-haw!
So buckle up your belts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were guns.
Oh, okay.
Pew,
Pew, pew. Get those ready. And we're going to have a darn tootin' fun time.
Yeah, rootin' tootin' we are.
Yeah. We're going to answer some questions, and it's going to be super fun.
Did we just stumble into a cowboy theme somehow?
Well, I am darn tootin' going to keep doing cowboy puns this whole time.
Oh, man.
I am Lola and then some, and I'm joined by my partner in this rodeo and in life.
Yep, there it is. I'm Resonate, yes. So this cowboy, I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2.
And it's a roundup. Yeehaw!
And it's a roundup, and it's all coming together now. It's all coming together, friends. Let's ride this metaphor as long as we can, like an old horse.
It's going to be a wild ride.
It is going to be a wild ride.
Or at least informative.
We haven't done one of these in just a little bit. We try and do one every season because this is the episode where we sort of clean out our mailbag and go through
Our saddlebag.
There it is, a bunch of advice questions. And we've got, normally we try and do like 5 or 6. We've got a bunch to do, Lola. So I don't know if you are fully saddled and stirruped, but I'm ready to ride.
I am fully diapered, so
That's true. That's true. As is your tendency. So let me dive right in. Again, we take questions from all over the world, and we sort of we either do entire episodes about them, or we do a roundup like this where we just hit a whole bunch of them right in a row. And this is an opportunity for us to do a whole bunch of them right in a row. So I want to start with a question from Jess Mummy on FetLife, and this question is about sort of what happens if you start to see your partner kind of showing signs of the vibe a little bit. So here it is. My question is regarding my fiance. In times throughout our day, I will pick up on things that she does that make me think that she could be a little. For instance, there are times that she doesn't get her way. She gives me puppy dog eyes and says, wah, wah, in a baby tone. Or when I pull her onto my knee and tell her she's a good girl in a patronizing voice, she responds back in a cute voice. Is this just something I'm trying to see in her so I can finally tell her everything? Or am I missing opportunities? And how would I try to extract it from her and show her that I would love to act as a CG to her? CG for caregiver.
yeah. Ooh.
Right?
Is there anything better than being told that you're a good girl?
I mean,
I don't think so.
It does seem to give folk the shivers. So
Interesting.
Yeah, so this is somebody who's saying, look, I've got this part I haven't shared about myself yet.
Yeah.
And is this a sign that like maybe we're on the same wavelength a little bit? So I will ask you as a recovering nilla.
Why is this my role? No. Okay.
That's what you get.
All right. Fine.
No, a nilla with sprinkles was, I like that term. But
Yeah.
so, what do you think that this person should do when they start seeing signs that like maybe this person has an untapped little vibe?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's very possible that this is just her personality. And like perhaps she does have little tendencies and she doesn't even know what they are. So my advice would be to maybe when you guys are in the midst of this happening and you catch one of those really cute moments, you kind of just stop and say, you know how cute it is? Like I adore when you do whatever it is, XYZ. And I'm just curious, what does it feel like to you? Do you notice you're doing this? And would you like to maybe keep playing through this a little bit and just see what she says? Because if she's like, oh my God, she might not know, honestly. And it might be like super embarrassing. And she might be like, oh no, I am a proud, independent woman and I don't want to be acting like this. Or she might say, yeah, I like to be cute and do cute things. And it makes me feel good when you tell me that I'm a good girl. And then if she goes there, maybe try to somehow introduce this idea of like, I don't know that I would go straight to kink, but maybe just say like, hey, have you ever thought about or heard about relationships where someone's kind of a caregiver to somebody else, and go from there. I think if you come forward with like, I have a kink for this and I'm in a DDLG and I want you to wear diapers and all this stuff, like that's going to be a lot. Yeah. But I would like try to get her to start talking about like what this is that's coming out of her and let that lead you to what you think is appropriate.
And you've got a great point. Like she may never have even reflected on this before.
Right, exactly.
This may be the first time she's actively thought about the fact that these things seem to light her up in some way.
So I think just like pulling up a Tumblr and showing her all this stuff like would maybe freak her out in that
case.
All
the ABDL stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I would just like any good relationship, no matter what's going on, communicate. Just ask her.
That's always good.
And let her also be part of the conversation to see if there is something inside of her.
And I can kind of infer from the way the question's asked that there are parts of you, question asker, that you have not shared with your partner yet.
Yeah.
And that the ABDL side may be one of those things, it sounds like. So I totally agree with Lola. Like, if you were at a festival with a friend and she said, oh my God, the bathroom lines are so long, I just wish I had a diaper, it would be very weird if you then pulled them out and went, I'm an ABDL, wee, right?
Yeah.
Even though the word was there, whatever. Similarly, I think it would be very hard to just instantly go into the whole story of ABDL. But I do think you could own that you kind of like it.
Yeah.
And that you could talk about, this actually really does it for me. It's something I've kind of noticed and I've been aware of for a while. This is, I'm like, without shame.
Yeah. That's why I think that first, like, I think it's really cute when you do this.
Yeah.
And it does this for me. What does it do for you? Like that kind of beginning opening, Yeah.
And that all at once reveal probably kind of a lot.
Yeah.
But it may be a bridge to more conversations that I hope you're able to have so that you can feel totally at peace with your fiance and with who you are. But it may not be sort of an all at once conversation. I do think she may go, oh no, I'm fooling around and it's just fun. And then she doesn't need to be little. She can just like that type of interaction and then be done with it.
Right. And that might be like a fun, playful thing that you guys have in your relationship regardless, right? But I would try to open up the conversation and just see what she has to say and just be open and be able to then like go into whatever it is you think is appropriate. Like she might be like, oh, you really do think this is cute? Actually, I kind of have this thing, but if you've never mentioned how it makes you feel or how you think it's adorable, maybe she's a little bit ashamed of it herself. I don't know.
Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. And of course, this lingering question that we get all the time, should I tell my partner about my kink, is kind of out there on this, like in the background on this question.
For sure.
That's a whole nother topic. We've covered it a number of ways. I don't think we have the time here. My hope, though, is that long term you can have that conversation, preferably before you tie the knot.
Right. I agree. I agree with that completely. But I do think this is kind of a separate thing because that is your kink. And this question is more like, oh, I want to bring her into my kink and she doesn't even know about it yet. Yeah. Which is like a whole different ball game. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hey, one down. 11:55 to go.
Ding ding.
Nice.
I don't know. Is that something they do in the rodeo?
Yeah.
That was more like boxing.
Ring the dinner bell or like the triangle thing. The triangle
ding,
thing.
Ding,
yep. Insert sound effect here. You got anything for me?
Yes, I do. So I have a question from Blueberry91 on FetLife. It says, what's up, man?
What's
Love
up?
your podcast.
Oh, thanks.
Have been listening for years and was in person at the 2023 CAP.
That one was so fun.
I was wondering if you had possibly done an episode on the topic of DLs, specifically trying to integrate themselves into the community and make friends. After years of trying to fit in with the AB folk, I've realized that, like you, it's all about the diapers for me.
Yep.
And the AB stuff is fun to try from time to time, but not my bread and butter. How does one get engaged with the community when the primary focus is just diapers and not all the other stuff?
I love this question, Blueberry. And in fact, we did a whole episode on what it's like to be a DL in an ABDL world. That was way back on episode 34. Mm-hmm. So if you want to scroll back in time, you can find that from a couple of years ago. But the reason I love this question is because I totally identify, right?
Yeah.
Like I like playing in AB space, but it's not my primary bread and butter either. It's certainly not how I entered the community. And I have wondered many times when I go to something like CapCon, which is literally an age play convention. It is not a diaper convention. It's an age play convention. Kind of where do I fit? And so it's a perfect place to think about this topic and to sort of reflect on how do I fit into this scene and this world. Here's how I've done it is I kind of treat it like going to a dungeon a little bit, where there are parts of any dungeon that I really like already, things that people are doing that seem hot to me or seem fun. Then there are parts of the dungeon that I think I might like, and I just kind of go engage and explore and watch people do it, maybe even try things myself to see if I like it. And then there are parts of every dungeon that I just know I'm not going to like, or I've tried it before, it just doesn't do anything for me. And I kind of treat the ABDL world the same way, where I come into every ABDL conversation, interaction, especially with new folks or new events, thinking, I don't know, I might like this. I put my hands in it. I try it out. I see, what do you love about it? Like, there is so much to learn from what other people are lighting up about, because you can see their sort of human spirit brighten with this certain thing that does it for them. And you can either fall in love with it yourself, or sometimes even just translate that to your own experience and be like, I don't get it for that thing, but I know what makes me feel that way, and it's this other thing. So I can see our shared humanity in that, even if this particular activity doesn't do it for me. And then there will be some things, like the dungeon, that I just don't get, and I go, hey, that's awesome for you. It's so cool to see you so happy. What I try not to do is say, okay, am I legitimate here? Do I belong here? Which is a natural question when it seems like everybody is playing one game and you're playing another. But the answer is yes. If you find delight being around people who also enjoy diapers for whatever reason, then you're in a good spot. And if you like going to events where people are talking about wearing, thinking about whatever diapers, because you're a DL, then you're probably in a good spot.
Yeah.
And you don't have to justify your existence there much further than that.
I'm wondering, do you have any tips for, like, say you go to CapCon, you walk into the nursery, and there are 3 groups of, kiddos playing, maybe blocks, maybe they're playing tag, maybe they're doing, something else. Like, do you have any tips for, like, I want to interact and, like, be part of this world, but, like, I'm not an AB? Like you said, you love to go be around it. Like, do you have any tips for how to actually go in there and engage that without becoming baby yourself?
Yeah. So two ideas. One is you can try becoming baby to see if you like it. If you've never done it before, that's one thing you could do.
Okay.
And just be like, I don't know, try this on. Does it fit? I did that with a lot of kinks where I was like, it turns out I don't like that. Okay.
And so you think it's okay to just, like, try it on, even though you don't identify as an AB? Okay.
I think that's true of any kink.
Yeah.
Right? I think now it's different than trying on an identity and saying I'm like you, but to try on an activity, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
To try on a mind space, sure.
Yeah.
The other thing is the other option, which is it's totally okay if people are building blocks or playing tic-tac-toe or riding trikes to be like, does that look like fun? I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm an AB or not. I like building things. I like riding trikes real fast around corners.
Yeah.
I like playing games with friends.
Yeah.
And it's totally okay to say, hey, can I join you? And you don't have to become baby.
What if you think they're looking for, because I also do not identify as baby.
Yeah.
And I've always struggled. It's easier with, like, people I know really well.
Yeah.
But in a more public setting, I've always struggled with, like, oh, what if they now want me and expect me to caregive?
That's a really good question at large for what happens when the people around you think might expect something of you.
Yeah.
In a kink setting. I'll throw this one back to you. If you are in a kink setting in general and people want you to be or do something for them that involves kink and you don't want to, how do you navigate that?
I mean, I just say no, thank you. But I feel like this is hard because it's like, I want to engage, but I don't want to be giving you rules like the caregiver, but I don't really want to be a baby. I just want to play.
Yeah.
That's like a hard space to be in.
Yeah.
And to, and maybe that's just something within me.
No,
that
no,
I
no.
need to, yeah.
I think that's real. So I've told you before, I had a friend who used to call me America's dad because
Yeah.
everywhere I went, it's just had this dad vibe, right?
Right.
And I have had many times that I've had that moment.
Yeah.
And I've learned to treat it like any kink interaction because you have to put yourself back in adult headspace
Right.
and say, I'm an adult with these adults.
Right.
And it's hard to do.
So do you just say like, you know what? I don't really want to like do this thing, but I would love to watch you do it. And maybe, see how tall you can make that.
Yeah. Or I do want to do this thing with you, but I don't want to be in charge of it and I don't want to be anybody's daddy.
Oh, that's much better than what I said. Scratch that.
I mean,
That's
you
much better.
can, and I have.
See, this is why I struggled. This is why I asked you the question
Yeah.
because I don't understand. Yeah.
I had a close friend years ago who was like, I really want you to change me. And I said, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I care about you and I think it's an awesome request and I'm not going to do that
Yeah.
because I don't really want that role with you.
Right.
But I get it. Like, I know that's a cool feeling. I get it. And that's a hard thing to tell somebody. And likewise, you can say, hey, can I sit with you guys? Can I play with you guys? Without going all baby and without going all
That's
CG.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
But boy, is it tricky. To me, the trick is you have to just treat it like any adult kink interaction, even though there's a bunch of babies around you,
Right. Right.
and think, what does consent look like here? So yeah, my encouragement would be think about maybe those 3 levels of interaction, trying it for your sake, trying alongside it to enjoy something, even if you're not going to take on that role, and then just saying no thank you and watching from a distance.
Yeah.
But the community does not require you to be AB.
No. Can I just add one other little thing in
Sure,
there?
please.
Also, as someone who does not identify as AB, I would say, have you tried going to just a more general munch that would be like at a bar or something like that? Because there aren't going to be babies there, but you're going to be around people that are into this kink or into kink in general. And that's kind of a easier place, I think, to be in, where you're like, you share this thing, but no one's actually acting any roles or doing any mindset.
Yeah.
So that's just another place or idea to like try to find your space and friends without having to like go full on into the AB world and try to figure out where you are in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, munches are a great idea. And it could be a general kink munch, but it even could be an ABDL munch.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Unless it's like specifically an age, because a lot of munches are like, we're doing age play.
At the munch.
At the munch,
yeah.
Right? Because it might be at a store or someone's house or something like that. But a lot of other munches are just, in more public places, like at a restaurant or a bar. Whereas, people are not going to be acting as babies there.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I got one for you. Ready?
Pew pew. Yes.
I love this screen name, A Little Space of Mind on Tumblr.
That is cool.
And I love this question. I have a question I would love to hear you address in this and other podcasts. There is always talk of the, quote, scene. For those couples starting out in this space, I would love to hear more about scenes and best practices for starting out. The term is often thrown out as if we're all in the know, but starting off can be very daunting. I totally agree. I would love to hear ideas of scenes and other tips and tricks that are useful in the real world for wading into this dynamic. Isn't this a killer?
That's a good question.
What a thoughtful question.
Yeah. So I hear in this, there's 2 ways we use the word scene too, first of all.
Yeah. Even in this question, there's 2 ways it's being used.
Correct. So, going into the scene as in stepping out into it could be the online community or the, in real life community. That would be called being a scene. Or going into the scene, the ABDL scene.
Yeah.
So that's just a broader term. But I think what they're asking for tips about is what we call scening in a kink or even just like BDSM way.
Yep.
So a scene would be something that would be set up, pre-negotiated with whomever is going to be interacting within that scene. And then you kind of allow it to play out. So, the first thing is obviously you always want to make sure everyone who's around and wants to be in this knows exactly what's happening and also have given their consent to be in this scene. And that consent can even look like, you know, sometimes when we have friends or whatever around, they don't want to participate, but they do want to stay and watch. And I always make it clear, like, hey, we're going to be doing a scene here. If you don't want to stay and watch too, like, we ask that, like, now is the time, or maybe we can find another space to go to. If
Here's this other room.
Here's this other room. Like, maybe we go over there. You know, you want to make sure everyone who's around. Now, if you're going to a dungeon or something like that, or you're going into the Dark Age Playroom at Capcom or something like that, it's just assumed that everyone there knows there's going to be people watching, and that's kind of an assumed consent. But if you're in a more private space, like with friends or whatever, I would always also make sure that everyone who's there, like the bystanders, are okay with being there.
Yep. And I'll say it, even at Capcom, it's not assumed. It's part of the agreement to get in. Is that you recognize.
Thank you. Yes.
Because they're really good about that.
Yes.
So that's one, is like, make sure you've got consent across the board, both for people who are in it. They know I'm going into a scene and here's what it's about.
Yes.
And people who are potentially watching or choose not to watch, that they know what's coming.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
And then, you know, the scene can be, I think they're looking for practical things here. I mean, because the scene can be something as, you know, sort of simple, I guess I would say, as in, we're all going to put on onesies and we're going to watch Bluey. And that could be the scene. Or it could go all the way up to, there is, you know, maybe a dom and a sub, and she's getting tied up and she's getting spanked, and maybe they're asking for people from the audience to be saying degrading insults. Like, there's lots of different ways that a scene can be. So I think for me, I just want to put that out there, that it doesn't have to be what you think of like in a dungeon. Yeah. Right?
Totally. Yeah. And even like, so when you and I hosted a party, one of the things that we did was we sent out a precursor note that said, there will likely be nudity, and we'll let you know before there is. There will likely be dress of you know, ABDL variety, exposed diapers, that sort of thing. We will let you know, but that is telling them up front there will be scenes.
Right.
And here's what to expect.
Right.
And that's when you have that consent moment. And then other times you might have it in the moment and say, hey, we're about to start a scene, and it's going to have some spanking or some blood or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
Or just, we're all going to watch Bluey.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it can be then, like, I'm just thinking of an actual specific scene where we were like, it may lead into this other thing, but we're going to just start with everyone watching Bluey. The caregivers who want to caregive are going to do that. And the littles that want to be little and play together are going to do that. Yeah. And we're going to watch Bluey. And then maybe something's going to happen and someone's going to be taken away for spanking or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's so hard to give actual practical tips and advice.
Because it's such a big world.
It's such a big world.
I will say, like, how do you know if something's a scene? For me, it crosses the line when you, for me, if you could see this happening in a vanilla context, it's probably safe. It's probably not a scene.
Right.
So, hey, we're going to put on Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Right?
Yeah.
That's probably not a scene. We're going to put on diapers and onesies and watch Bluey, or put on diapers and onesies and watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
That's a scene. Like, we're setting up a role play or a kink experience, right? That's different.
Yeah.
If you're going to do role play, it's probably a scene. Probably. Right? Unless
I agree with that.
You're doing a Shakespearean drama. It's probably a scene. And there is improvisation. So you don't need to know exactly how the scene's going to go, but you can say, I think we're gonna do a bondage scene. I think we're gonna do a spanking scene. I think we're gonna do a knife play scene, whatever it happens to be, and then recognize that, like, much like a game of Dungeons and Dragons, it's improvised, and the characters kind of make it up as they go.
But there are rules and boundaries.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Just like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
It has mechanics and rules and boundaries, right?
Right.
But that you don't necessarily know all that's going to happen. Even the people running the scene don't exactly know all that's in what order things are going to happen. Yeah. But they have a structure.
Yeah. I'm just going to give it an example. The second Capcom I went to, I had met a friend that was a friend with a lot of my other friends, and she was like, I really want to do this group scene at some point. You're welcome to come if you would like. And I was like, cool, what is it? And she's like, I honestly just want whoever wants to be a baby, whoever that is, to come in whatever they want to be wearing, have bottles or whatever, and to drink as much as possible, like just drink water, and whoever pees first, like loses. Like that was the whole plot of the scene. And I was like, cool, that sounds fun. And then we started to talk a little bit more about it. So it might just be like if you're wanting to do a scene with one person or a couple of people, you may want to just be like, I have this idea. And then we kind of built the scene from there. It included like this fun little like timer that we had, and everyone had a drink at 2 minutes. And I ended up coming in as a babysitter and bringing snacks. And like it kind of turned into this whole thing, but it can just start with one idea.
Yeah.
Like, let's have this game, see who, just can't hold it.
Yep.
And pees their pants first.
Yep.
That was a scene. And then it evolved into other things because we talked about it.
Yeah. And to the point of evolving consent, it's okay to evolve and to add new elements, but you just you evolve your consent along the way too.
Right.
Hey, we're moving from watching Bluey to, I think I'm going to spank a couple people. Who wants to be involved?
Yep.
Like, it's very explicit that way, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because then they are reaffirming their informed consent.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things the question asker asked about, though, was, and I don't want to miss this, is tips for a great scene. Like, I'm new to this. How do I think about building a great scene?
I see. Actually building one. Yeah.
To me, this comes down to what feels and sounds fun to you.
Yeah.
And don't worry about the rest of the room.
Right.
Like, if you're having a good time, or even just you're playing with something, like it doesn't have to be sexy. It doesn't have to be hot.
Mm-hmm.
If you decide that camp counselor is a role you've always wanted to try,
I like that role.
or librarian, or I want to be in charge of, when you're allowed to use the potty and that's all I want to do, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, if that sounds fun to you, it's a scene. And it can be between just you and your partner.
Yep.
And if there are other people there, they're allowed to stay or go. But make it about what sounds fun to you.
Right. And I think to that, within that same energy, it's like, it's almost as if planning, like, what's a really fun day out to you? Like, what does that sound like? You can apply this right here to a scene as well. What's something you've always wanted to try? And it could be something like, I've never been changed in front of anyone else. And that might be your first scene. And you just invite a friend in and they just watch. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And guess what? You did it. That was your first scene. That was it. I tend to be kind of a stinker and like make my own scenes happen. Like, hey friends, daddy's gonna go lock me in this triangle thingy and spank me. Who wants to come watch?
Yeah, exactly.
It can be as simple as that.
And also, you don't have to have anybody else there. Did you know you can do a scene for one? Just you? Here's an example. If you've ever wanted to know what it feels like to totally be out of control, and you decide that you want to self-enforce a lock on your belt or your diaper cover, and you set a timer on that lock, and it's a 5-hour timer, you have just started a scene with you.
That's awesome.
You have put the locus of power outside of yourself and are now having a role play with yourself. You don't even need people around to do that, but it is a kink activity and a role play.
Yeah.
With a dynamic. That's a scene.
I love that.
So I think sometimes we give each other, I think, this pressure, especially if you're newer. You might think that folks like you and I who have been in the community for a while have like these elaborate, nailed down, exhibition style plans. And sometimes we do, and we think about it for weeks.
Yeah.
Most of the time we just make stuff up, check in with consent.
Yeah.
Say, does this sound fun to try?
Yeah.
And half the time it's sexy and half the time it's just fun.
Right. And sometimes a scene between, for example, you and I, is just simply me being like, I really want to pee on a puppy pad tonight.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
And just kind of asking for that.
Yeah.
One last little piece of advice I'd like to offer is that I would say when you're trying to set up a scene, like just be open-minded and just like, I think if you go in with like very specific things that need to happen, then you may be disappointed.
Yeah.
But like just be open to like, hey, what is this person? This person could totally add a whole cool thing that you didn't even think about.
Yep.
And just talk about it and like come to something that is just fun and new for both of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So communicate your expectations and your wants.
Yeah.
Try things.
Yeah.
And go with the flow a bit.
Exactly.
Don't feel like it has to be perfect or nailed down.
Exactly.
And those are all great rules for Dungeons & Dragons too. Way to go, geeks.
What?
Y'all have figured out the perfect set of rules for scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was awesome.
I like that question. I hope that's helpful. You'll have to write back and let us know a little space of mind.
Yes.
Whew. Okay, we're at 30 minutes.
Howdy, RY.
Well, howdy, partner.
Are you ready for another thing?
Is that what cowboys sound like?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Really, I'm just going to give this prompt from AJ and FetLife that there's some crazy cousin story that we need to hear. Please share.
Okay. No, this is a good prompt because I wanted to share this story. I don't know where it fits, but I did.
I don't know that it's a question, but it is a fun story.
Yeah. So AJ wrote to me and said, hey, I'm a longtime listener, factory installed ABDL. Crazy true story I feel like I have to share. My wife and I are new to poly and opened up. I told her about my true ABDL site about a year ago. She got up the courage to go to a munch with me, and what happened was a controlled and hilarious disaster.
What happened?
Well, so this was described in a text that AJ sent to a friend, and I want to share that text with you.
Okay.
So AJ texts a friend.
Oh, gosh.
It says, my wife and I attempted to go to a munch in our area. I was at a small craft brew bar. We didn't check in or anything. We just walked in, went to the bar, ordered drinks as our first order of business. The munch was all of these tables pushed together in the middle of the bar. We're ordering drinks, and then, holy fuck, her cousin stood up from the table to go outside for a smoke. We played it cool, went out on the patio, had our drinks, and left.
Oh, my God.
Not telling our family about our kink or poly arrangement is just a boundary that we both have.
Yeah.
We dodged a bullet. That was our close call. I just love this story.
I love that.
I love this casual saddling up to the bar.
Yeah.
Seeing your cousin stand up and just noping the fuck out of there.
Like, nope. I actually get asked a lot about, like, how do I go to munches and, like, not be afraid that I'm going to run into people? And I'm usually like, you're probably not going to, but if you do, like, they're there for the same reason.
Yeah.
But that's hard when you have a boundary of, like, no, we do not involve family in our kink or anything, right?
Yeah, right? Sometimes your family involves themselves. I mean, you and your cousin now have something interesting to talk about if you ever wanted to, but I understand if you don't. Mm-hmm. For me, like, that's agreed. Like, you kind of have this mutually assured destruction thing where, like, you're both there for the same reason. You probably have a pretty neat conversation coming if you'd like to have it.
Yeah.
But also, if you do see each other there, you both have a reason not to tell anybody. Mm-hmm. And in this case, AJ saw the cousin and was like, I don't want any part of this.
Right.
And went out for a chicken sandwich.
And that's okay.
Neither of them were the wiser.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They now know very little except that their cousin was there.
Yeah.
They didn't have to hear the whole story. And the cousin doesn't know that they were there for the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the moral of the story is go up to the bar and get a drink first.
That's a great...
See who stands up from the table.
That's a great moral. Now, if you're not going to a munch, if you're going to like a dungeon event, well, you're clearly both there for kink.
Right. Or what if you're going to a munch at a diaper store?
Yeah, right.
That's a little harder.
Yeah, you're probably going to have that conversation.
I thought this was the computer store.
I do know this is one of a number of stories I've gotten, and we're now probably pushing a dozen over the years, where somebody has found a sibling or close relative
in the community
at an event.
Yeah.
Of some kind.
Or online.
Yeah. Yeah, they found them online. I mean, this is more common than you'd think it would be, which means one of two things. Either total coincidence and there just happens to be a lot of ABDLs out there, or what if it runs in the family?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either.
It could be. I think it boils down more to there's just a lot of us out there.
There's just a lot of us, yeah. It's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
I know 2 sets of twins that found each other.
Yeah, that one is weird. I do feel like that's a genetic thing going on.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
All right. That was a fun one. That was
fun.
More just a story to be shared, I think.
Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Story there, partner.
Thanks, partner. Can you keep your spurs from jingling and jangling? Let's talk about meeting folks online. S. Smith DL on Tumblr says, my question revolves around best practices for meeting genuine people online. And just as an aside, this is one of the questions we get most.
Yep.
It's just such a great basic question. How do I meet people online? I'm hesitant to give out pics and info until I know or trust the other person is real. There's so many scammy interactions. I'm trying to be as open, honest, straightforward, polite, fun, silly, curious, and interested with others as possible. I now know much more about what I want. I'm just not sure I'm in the right places or circles. I'm mainly wondering about best etiquette and best online places to interact. So far, I've been on Daily Diapers, FetLife, and Tumblr. So S. Smith DL poses this question. What do you think? What are some best practices and places for meeting folks online?
Well, I think what S. Smith DL said here about being open, honest, straightforward, polite, fun, silly, curious, and interested is like spot on. That you want to be a real person.
Yeah.
If you want to meet other genuine, real people, guess what? You should also be a genuine, real person. And I do think it's very, it's a good idea to not show pics or anything like that or give out, real personal information right away. I think that's always a good rule of thumb as well. Really with any interaction online, honestly, not just in this community, but
for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. This is like always so hard to give advice because I feel like we always give the same advice. And I'm trying to think of like something different about places to go. It can be so hard online because so many people come and go, first of all.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are quote unquote like lurking because they're trying to figure out this side of themselves for themselves. And or maybe they just really, really want to find a partner and like it's really hard to do that. And then they get discouraged and then they leave.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I've found friends online, but like that was at the very beginning. And then most of the friends that I've really made are just through other friends in the community.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you make that first sort of little awesome group of friends?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so the question about place, I think, is usually at the forefront of everybody's mind. But to me, that question is a little bit like, I want to be an awesome guitar player. What guitar should I get?
I see.
And the answer is it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're starting out, it's not that important what guitar you have. What's important is how do you practice and what teacher do you have? Are you leaning on good material? Like FetLife is both a brilliant source of community and a hotbed of nonsense.
Right.
Tumblr, brilliant source of community, hotbed of nonsense.
Yeah.
Instagram, Reddit, all of them.
Yeah.
I've never been on ABDL Twitter, but I'm told I'm sure it's both.
Yeah.
There is no online space that I know of that isn't both. But when you go into one of these spaces and you are all of those things that you just said, straightforward, honest, open, polite, fun, silly, curious, and interested in others, you will attract and notice people who are the same, and they will notice you.
Yeah.
And it won't happen overnight, and it will take months. And I'm sorry in advance. It's true.
Yeah.
And before you get those folks, you will get the people who don't think before they write to you and just say goofy, creepy things.
That's a polite way to say it.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it takes more energy to be open, honest, straightforward, polite, fun, silly, curious, and interested in others.
Totally.
That takes more effort than being like, are you a diaper? But you're going to get those. You just have to wait it out and just keep being that person to attract those people. And I don't mean that romantically. I just mean as friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. I met my first really amazing ABDL friends on Reddit. It was Teddy and his partner at the time.
Yeah.
And they reached out to me on, I believe it was DDLG discussion Reddit, subreddit, which doesn't exist anymore. But I'm just thinking maybe Reddit. I haven't been there for a while. Maybe go try that, because if you can go to a specific topic that you really want to talk about, you can see people that post on there frequently that are saying like intelligent and thoughtful things.
Yep.
Reach out to those people.
Yep.
Teddy and they reached out to me and we just started messaging and talking.
Yep.
And the other thing too, which I know this is not possible for everyone to do, but the way that I did this was like, I want to attract people that want positive, fun, safe interactions and like a space to be online. So I just went out there and made that on my Tumblr. And I know that takes a lot of time. And I'm not saying that's the answer for everyone.
You created a positive, safe space.
But I created that safe space that was fun and playful. And I actually took the time to answer thoughtful asks and people took notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you probably have to ignore 50 not thoughtful asks.
Exactly.
For every really great one you get.
Exactly.
Yeah. And same with me. Like I get all kinds of questions for the show. 50% of them are really, really thoughtful, and 50% just want to know if Lola is still 24/7. Actually, that's kind of a fun question.
Spoiler.
but you know what I mean? Like some of them are just fat fodder.
Yeah.
And some of them are really, really thoughtful. And I take the thoughtful ones and we talk about them. And the other ones I just don't do anything with. And that's fine.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it's a process and it takes
Yeah.
time, but keep being that person and you will find those folks. And then they will introduce you to the other
Yeah.
really thoughtful folks in the community.
Exactly. And I would also say to like continue forward, like once you've met, someone online, you share similar interests, maybe you both are super into music too or something like that. And I think that's always helpful to like be not just a diaper person, but like talk about your other interests and like who you are as a real person. If you find this person and you message back and forth on whatever platform it is and you feel pretty safe and like you actually want to keep having interactions with this person, I always suggest doing like a, Snapchat or Discord or Telegram, whatever safe way you want to do it, like just phone call. And like that's how I actually am like, oh, this is a person that I actually want to talk to. Let me talk to them once and see if this is even, something that can turn into a friendship. And I know that's a scary step to take, but you can do it in a safe way where you're not giving out your phone number, you're not doing face stuff, you're just doing a phone call and like see if that, I think once you make that first step, I think that also gets you way like it's easier for you to start stepping out into maybe out of online into real life interactions too.
And if you don't have, like Instagram has a built-in voice chat feature,
or
obviously
whatever
Messenger.
it is. Yeah, exactly.
But Signal, if you don't have something like that, you can use like a Google Voice number if you have a Google account, and just make that your kink number.
Yeah.
And then it's okay because that's the only thing that's for. If somebody
it's not
gets
tied
it's not a big
to
deal.
Your real phone number or your name.
Right.
Yep. And then you can continue actually building those, those really great relationships.
I have had so many amazing, like 1 a.m. goes till 1 a.m. sort of conversations that way.
Yeah.
Where you just connect with somebody and instantly you go, wow. And then I've had a handful of others where I'm like, we're probably not lifelong friends.
Same.
And that's okay.
But sometimes you got to take that step too.
Yep.
And if you see somebody's profile that you're like, that looks like a really cool person, I would say message them. And if they don't get back to you, that's okay.
That's okay.
But like, sometimes you got to make that step too.
But in case you're wondering, like, I'll speak for myself. I notice if you're thoughtful, interested, kind. You stand out to me if you write with that level of thoughtfulness.
Agreed. In fact, this person that asked the question, he and I have, I think it's a he, they and I have been messaging back and forth a little bit on Tumblr because they sent me a really thoughtful, kind ask and I answered it. And now we've been like messaging a little bit.
That's awesome. It makes a difference.
Guess what? It's working.
It's working. You're doing it right.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need this advice.
Okay. Are you ready?
How about one more serious one and then we got a little lightning round?
All right. Pew pew. Tumbleweed, tumbleweed. No, it's not tumbleweed time. It's exciting.
Gunfight, high noon. I don't know enough about cowboys to continue this metaphor. I'm sorry.
I'm trying so hard though. Okay.
Right.
This question comes from Meg Till Dig from Tumblr. How this person wants to know, how do you deal with having an ex that knows about your fetish and was part of it, even helped take pictures for Instagram?
Nice.
I find it a bit nerve-wracking, even though the person would probably never share what we did together with someone else. But how do you learn to accept that loss of control?
And this one comes all the way to us from Denmark.
Oh, yes. Kind regards from Denmark.
Hello from the United States to Denmark.
Hello, Denmark.
Can I just tell you, I love that we have listeners all over the world. That makes me so happy in my inside parts.
And all of our cowboy stuff is totally lost on them, probably.
No, I think cowboy culture is universal at this point.
Okay. Buckaroo.
Yeah, all right, saddle up, partner. Yeah, so I am not unfamiliar with the concept of having an ex that knows about my stuff. It's certainly true for a couple of exes. And it can be a little nerve-wracking. I think here's the way I think about it, is that when you enter into a long-term relationship, the kind of relationship that you would bother telling about your stuff, you are both making a choice for vulnerability that in some ways is dangerous, hence vulnerable. Both of you are making some kind of decision to put parts of yourself out there that can be scraped, hurt, injured, whatever. I know to you, and certainly to me, that this particular facet of your very big self is the most scary, most vulnerable, the most sort of on fire, oh my God, what if somebody found out part of you? I get it. my guess is your ex feels that way too about something. And they remember that time that they threw up in your lap, or they told you about their secret crush on the guy from whatever show. I'm not even going to guess at what that Jerry Seinfeld, or or they shared for you their lifelong love of Pogs. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They have something that they deeply shared and offered in vulnerability to you too. I don't, unless you're on really bad terms. People have certainly been outed by their exes. It's usually right off the bat.
Yeah.
And it's usually because the ex is in some fury and they're really, really insanely angry.
Yeah.
So what I gather from your question is that hasn't happened. So how do you accept the loss of control? I think you accept the loss of control the same way you do with every other part of yourself that you make vulnerable in a relationship, which is this is the cost of love. Is love is vulnerability. There's no two ways around it. You have to go through a vulnerable path to experience connection and love that way. And both of you did it. And yours happens to include this kink, and theirs has a different something that they're vulnerable with you for.
Right.
That's just that's
the
the agreement.
Yeah.
That's the cost of love. And so you accept the control loss the same way you accept that joy can bring pain. And that love can bring loss.
Yeah. That's really good.
What do you think, Lola?
Ditto, all of that. Yeah.
Except for the Jerry Seinfeld part.
I mean,
why are all my examples from the 90s? I promise I'm not like 65.
No, he's not 65. Yeah, I think, the wonderful, beautiful things about relationships is the sharing, right? And when they end, you don't really get to take back that sharing. But that's just part of learning to get over that loss,
Yeah. And honestly, some of the best growth points I've had in my life was recovering from loss in a way that, how do I recover in a way that still makes me feel grateful for that vulnerability?
Yeah.
Even though it's no longer in my control.
For sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do I continue into the next love?
Yeah.
Loving that vulnerability. But that's a growth point.
Yeah. And and maybe the other person's growing too. And they're part of the equation. There's two people, right?
Yep.
And my like you said, my guess is that they are also grieving a loss and also a little worried about this loss of control too. Yeah.
Plus, they're a weirdo who took pictures of diapered people with their phone. So that's on them. No, hopefully the message of, well, I'm saying like you now have proof that they like to take pictures of people in diapers. So there you go.
Exactly.
No, I'm just kidding. But I do think that shared vulnerability story is real and right.
Yes.
And they have some vulnerability in this too.
Yes, I agree with that.
All right. I promised a lightning round. We got 4 questions. Don't worry, these are going to go fast. We got 4 questions about sort of our relationship and previous relationships. Do you want to try and tackle these? Should we do it now? Should we wait?
Can we make a lightning round sound?
More post. Oh, you're just going to make it now. Yeah. Is that what lightning sounds like? Pew, pew.
That's it.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Okay, so lightning round. I'm going to throw this one to you. Crown Prince 78 on Tumblr said, I've been wondering, how did you and Lola meet? And when did you realize the chemistry was on point from the get-go? It was from the get-go. But
yes.
how did we meet?
Well, I first met you in my ear hole through this podcast.
Yeah.
But you did not meet me there.
That's correct. It would be hard to meet you in my...
I think we actually met
ear
just like a
hole.
little bit on Tumblr. Like we had interacted on each other's posts a few times.
Yep.
Like way back when.
Yep.
So I think you knew I was a person. And then we actually briefly met through mutual friends during like, I think pandemic time, like big Zoom call with like diaper people. Was actually the first time I like quote unquote met you and talked to you, even though it was on Zoom.
Yeah, it was just a handful of us.
Yeah, but it was sort of like friends were just hanging out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then we met in person that led us on the road to where we are today through Teddy.
Yeah. Yeah. And during those first two things, we were both in other
Correct.
long-term marriages. I mean,
Right.
Long-term
That's how
relationships.
we learned of each other, though, I guess.
Yeah. So, but that is how we, first technically met. And then it was Teddy who knew that we were both going through separation processes.
Yeah.
And said, you could probably help each other.
Yeah. And I actually was talking to Teddy and other friends, like looking for just a little bit of advice. And I was really trying to figure out some stuff and what was important to me in life. And I was like, you know who also would maybe have good advice? RY.
Yeah.
And Teddy was like, I was actually thinking the exact same thing. And so then he was like, let me see if I can, share your number.
Yeah.
And we were both going through some really hard things. And, the separation and just moving forward in life.
Yep.
And we were able to be there for each other because we were experiencing the same stuff.
Yep. Yep. And you didn't know it at the time, but R&T and I had already decided to split.
Exactly.
And I don't think you knew that for months and months
I did not know that for months.
Yeah, I didn't share that with anybody.
No. I just knew you were in a place where you were hurting and working on some stuff. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to be there as a friend.
Yep.
Yep.
And I didn't know for months and months, like that this, I didn't anticipate that this was a relationship. I thought we were showing up to give each other advice through difficult times.
For sure.
And you did too. And after both of us not only made our decisions, but split.
Yeah.
I think it became evident to me that I would like to spend more time with you.
Yeah.
In like the world's worst possible timing scenario. In so much as like I would never, if you asked me, RY, should I get into another, even sort of romantic relationship within months of divorce, I would say, no, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing for me. I think remember telling you, like, I just want to have a mad love affair with myself.
Yeah.
That was like literally something I said to you, I remember. Yeah. And I'm so excited to go be by myself because I had not been on my own and single since high school, ? Yeah. So, but then as we were able to just talk and like, we also were both kind of digging out of these holes and just in better places to start talking and getting to know each other.
Yeah.
It became pretty evident like, oh, well, when there's like a special something that is hard to, even if you have these boundaries for yourself of like, I'm not going to have a relationship for a year, it's really hard when the universe puts that in front of you.
Yeah, it was nowhere in my plan. It's a terrible idea. Do not recommend. And also I happened to find somebody I love very much. The other piece that was important to me, and I know to you at the time too, was not being monogamous.
Right.
Because I knew, and to this day I know, that I was not interested or ready for, this is the only thing I want to do.
Right. And I came out of my monogamous marriage partly, there were lots of parts, but part of it was like, I am almost 100% sure that I'm a polyamorous person and I will never get to experience my full magnificence in my sexuality and my love, how much love I can just give. I'm never going to be able to do that there. And so that was very clear from the beginning of wherever I was going in this new life of mine, that I was going to be poly. I was going to be able to explore my bisexuality. And that was something very clear that, I mean, you knew from the get-go as well.
Yep, those two things for you.
Me. About me.
Yep. Yeah, I did want to separate those two things, the bisexuality and being poly. But yeah, I mean, that was one thing I was sure for myself. And I knew that I couldn't grow the way that I wanted to and heal and recover and become more the person that I knew I could be if I settled down into a monogamous relationship. I knew that would not be a good choice for me. And I remember once it became clear that we might want to sort of pursue romance together, I remember having that conversation and you having that conversation and going, sweet, I'm glad we're on the same page there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I believe we made a promise to each other that if either of us is like not, growing individually within this relationship, that we would have to talk about it and make some changes because those were really important things for us. And I also made a big, important promise to myself that I was going to live, on my own for a year. And I lived hours away from you. And I lived there for more than a year. And I'm really proud and happy that we took this path. I had that chance, which also gave you the chance to be healing and growing in the space after our marriages had ended. For sure.
And we still don't live together.
Right.
We live in the same town, but still don't live together. So yeah, it's been a series of like, it's amazing, like this magnetism, this tremendous like connection and pull. Like I want to spend all my days and nights with you. And I've made choices and you've made choices along the way to say, how do I balance that with, I also know that I need these other things for my life. Right. And it's been really intentional along the way to do both.
For sure.
Yeah.
Can I share just a little bit of a story of the day we actually finally decided we could meet?
Sure.
Or not could meet, but it was time for us to meet in person after months of being friends and then deciding and separating all the stuff.
Yeah.
We were like, it's time. We feel right about this.
Yeah.
Let's meet. And I remember asking you, and we talked about like, it's okay if there's no chemistry. Like, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be great friends. We're going to have a fun time together. And like, whatever. Like, I'm just grateful you're in my life. Right. Yeah. And I remember asking you very specifically if you were ready to maybe kiss me.
Yeah.
And do you remember what you said?
I probably said, we'll have to play that by ear, but probably not.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what you said. And I was like, cool, because for some people that's very intimate. For some people it's not. Yeah. And I just wanted to know like these boundaries. And I knocked on your door and you opened your door and I fell into your arms and the biggest hug ever. And I just looked up at you. And do you remember what you said?
No.
You're like, I think I want to kiss you.
Oh, that was it. First words together.
No, I think you were like, hello, I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, okay. And then
because there was just that chemistry from the get-go.
Yeah. Plans go out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had taken those steps to know who we were, what we wanted, and to see if that could come together. Yeah. And it did.
And I had seen some speculation. I don't know why people bother to sit and think about these things, but I'd seen some speculation online that somehow you were the reason that R&T and I split up, or I was the reason that you and your ex split up. And I just want to clear it up. These decisions got made independently and previous to our romantic relationship.
For sure.
It was, by the time we met and spoke, it was already done.
Yes.
So, in case anybody wonders about that, I don't know why people bother to sit around and think about that. Like, who's got the time? Anyway, speaking of R&T, can you want to throw this next one at me?
Yes. From Grizz1234 on Tumblr. Hello, hope everyone's well. We hope you're well too. This person would like to know about R&T and how she's doing. And is she still wearing? And does she have a Tumblr or a blog or anything? Thank you and much love.
So R&T, we're still friends, and I get to see her and talk with her on a semi-regular basis. And we still live in the same town and still share circles of friends. And she's doing great. R&T, I will let her speak for herself. In fact, I may see if I can append this episode with some audio from her. I'll hit her up and see if she wants to.
Oh, that would be lovely.
I know she would enjoy that too. But she's doing great. I won't give her full update. That's up to her. But she is happily remarried and it has big plans for big moves in her future.
Yeah.
Is doing a great job running some community events here in our community and leading some of those community events and is in the process of just creating an amazing life.
Yeah.
So
they seem so happy.
They seem so happy, and they are really well fitted, and I am happy for them. So R&T's doing great. To answer your second two questions, is she still wearing? Presumably, I think that will always be true. If you know about both her history with ABDL and her history with incontinence, I think that will always be true, unless there's some kind of medical thing I don't know about that happened. Does she have a Tumblr or blog? Not that I am aware of. I'm not aware of her having a Tumblr or a blog. Yeah. But she is doing great. I know she'll be glad that you are asking about her. And I'll see if I can, I will append it to the end of this episode.
Oh, that would be lovely.
I don't know if I'll be able to because she's a very busy lady, but I'll try. Yeah. So thanks for that question. All right. Keep Me Diapered on Tumblr.
What?
I think I know Keep Me. That was not a request.
Oh, okay.
This is a person.
Okay.
I think I know Keep Me Diapered. Keep Me Diapered on Tumblr. Says, hey, Lola and RY, love your podcast. Thank you. My question for Lola is, since you've been 24/7 for over a year now, it's been longer than that. How long has it been?
It's actually been over 2 years now.
Do you still have that good feeling of being in a diaper after constant wear, or has that feeling diminished? For me, I still get that good feeling every time I pad up, even after going 24/7 for months at a time.
And a little huggy emoji.
Yeah. So that's it. Does it still feel good after 2 years?
Yeah, I want to say it feels good, but in a different way. I think it has changed for me. Changed. I've gotten lots of changes. Yeah, so for me, again, right, diaper, I'm not the factory installed. I'm more of the aftermarket upgrade to this whole diaper thing. And for me at first, it really was this like naughty, taboo, humiliating, like little, like I'm going to go do something naughty when I put on a diaper. Or was really very heavily like dynamic based.
Very subby thing.
Very subby thing,
yeah.
Right. And so that was more of a fun kind of shot right then, of excitement. Now that I've been 24/7 for over 2 years,
Unbelievable.
You had nothing to do. Oh,
yeah,
wait,
right.
Actually, that's not true. But I wear, again, as part of our 24/7 DS dynamic, I really view my diaper as my collar at this point. And it has this sort of underlying comfort. Actually, I don't know that comfort's even the right word. Just I know I'm in my place every time I have my diaper on, which is all the time. And so it helps keep me grounded into who I am, and it helps remind me of the things that I want in this life, and that I'm brave enough to go ask for them and seek them out. And also my commitment to being this authentic, kinky person who is in a very committed, kinky, authentic relationship with you.
What a lovely thing every time you put a diaper on.
Yeah.
That's a huge...
Yeah.
It's a huge construct.
Yeah. So I hate to disappoint people that it's not this super sexy, exciting thing really anymore for you. It still is for me. It still is for you.
It still is for me, yeah.
But for me, it's really this underlying I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I'm loved.
Yeah.
And also, it's really convenient. I get to just pee wherever I am.
That is
which
nice.
is nice.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's still very hot to me. Although I'll say, even that changes for me, because part of what makes it hot now is simply the time, the commitment. It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
That has a special hotness that day 2 does not.
Yeah.
Day 2 has a novelty that 2 years doesn't.
Right.
But 2 years has a deep hotness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the difference between, for instance, puppy love and that sort of long-term relationship love, right?
Yeah.
Where it's not sizzling hot every second.
Exactly.
But man, does it run deep.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's
for me,
exactly
that love of your 24/7 just gets deeper the longer you do it. So, because it's just so committed.
Yeah.
You're all in.
I am daddy.
And it's super hot.
Yeah.
And I get to see it all the time. Anyway, I'll stop bragging. It's a good life. So still fun for you, still fun for me is the answer.
Yeah, it's just fun in a different way. It's not this exciting, sexy time thing. It's just this is us.
Yep.
And we get this life because we made it.
We actually did an episode on 24/7 way back in episode 54. If somebody wants to know what it's like being 24/7 in diapers, we did do an episode. I need to go back and listen to that one, but my guess is it might have some relevant information.
For sure.
And then I know Newsy's Nook did a podcast just this week. I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, I saw it pop up on my phone. I think we were in the car together, and I was like, ooh, it's about 24/7. We haven't listened yet, but I can't wait to.
We'll have to listen this weekend.
Yeah.
So I guess the topic is on everybody's brain.
24/7. Can I ask you one more quick?
Yeah, let's wrap it up with this one.
All right. This comes from NSFW Pics blog on Tumblr. RY, are you and Lola married or gonna get married? The way you two kind of profess your love for each other, I can't imagine that you haven't talked about it. You're a lucky guy to have found such a beautiful little girl.
I do not disagree with you, NSFW Pics blog on Tumblr. I am a very lucky guy to have found such a beautiful girl. Are we married? We are not. Are we going to get married? That is nowhere in the plans right now, but not because we haven't talked about it. We love each other very much. And both of us came into this relationship saying, hey, can we not get married, please?
Yes.
Only because we both have done it before. I've done it twice.
Yeah.
And our, right now, I'll say, our focus on building our love for each other while continuing to grow through non-monogamy and through polyamory and building other relationships in our lives that feed us, that has been really important to us. There may come a day when that's not important to us for one or both of us.
Yeah.
But right now, that has been our ongoing commitment and dialogue.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I don't want to speak for you on that.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I mean, yeah, we both, like you said, we're like, hey, I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
Coming into this. Even before, I think we were talking about relationship, right?
We were saying in general.
Right,
Yeah.
like, I don't know that I ever want to get married again.
Yeah.
And there's nothing against marriage. I don't want to put that out there.
No,
I think marriage is
cool.
beautiful, and I think it's a amazing choice for so many people. But for me
I liked
now
it so much
in my
I did
life,
it twice.
that's not something that I want. But I also am always hesitant to say, like, I never want to get married because people change, right? Things change. But that is, I know, something that will be an open dialogue between you and I if it ever changes.
Yeah.
I do have a request, though.
What's your request?
That we get to have a fun non-wedding with our friends sometime.
Just like a wedding level party.
Yeah.
That is not a wedding.
Duh.
I mean, that would be, can you imagine spending 10 grand on a party?
Well, it doesn't have to be that, but
Whatever
like
a wedding
like a
costs these days.
DJ and a dance floor and
Hell
have some
yeah.
friends and food.
Hell
that
yeah.
would be super fun.
That would be
and
incredible.
also like celebrate our love because we do love each other very deeply.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And I would love to celebrate that with our friends, regardless of whether or not there is a ring or a
Right.
pastor or whatever involved.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love marriage. I've been lucky enough to actually marry a bunch of other couples that are friends in the ABDL world. I love it. I think it's one awesome way to do love and life.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm not in a space where I want to do that. But that doesn't stop me for a second from thoroughly loving and committing to our partnership. I would like the tax break, though. That part would be nice.
That's a different episode.
We'll have to bring Teddy on as our tax advisor on that one.
We would.
We keep talking about Teddy. I should mention this is Teddy Bear,
Teddy!
who you have heard on other episodes of Love and Brief, who has just been so fundamental to our lives and our path.
Yeah.
And, so be sure to listen to Teddy's episodes. We'll have another one coming up after this one.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact.
Yeah, my bestie and roommate is off on another road trip.
As he is wont to do.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's it. Boy, we've gone,
We did it.
9 questions in just over an hour.
Yeah.
This really has been a full question roundup. Yeehaw.
We, just like saddled on up to the saloon and
Wait.
sat right down at the bar.
I'm trying to decide if I should let you run with this and like see if you swing or not, but I'm not going to. Because I don't know about you, but I'm running out of metaphors, cowpoke.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
This has been so much fun, though.
It really has. I love doing these.
And thank you for the questions, everyone.
Yeah, and if you want, you can see we get questions from FetLife. That's Resonant Yes on FetLife. We get questions from Tumblr. That's Resonant Yes on Tumblr. And we get questions from Instagram. I don't think we had any today, but you can send questions. Actually, the best place to send them is the Love and Brief Instagram account.
Yeah.
Because I get a little notification, and I know that's probably just a question about the podcast and not about pictures or whatever.
Awesome.
So Love and Brief, the Instagram account, all one word. You can also send them to loveandbrief@gmail.com. And don't worry, I will never share your email address with anybody. Just the second I take the question, I paste it in another spreadsheet, I delete the email so you don't have to worry about it. Anything else you want to share today, Lola?
No, I just want to say I love you. And I love doing this with you.
I love doing this with you too. I thought you were talking to them for a second. But
I also love all of them.
I do too.
But we were just talking about us and it just, yeah.
I know.
But I love being able to be in this and part of this community with you.
Yeah, me too.
And I just feel so honored.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I'll see if I can get R&T to leave us some audio.
Yes.
So we'll find out after it makes the following noise.
Hi there, Love and Brief friends. It's R&T. The other day, RY asked me if I would mind recording an update for you all because I think a couple of people asked how I was doing. Well, I am doing super well. My husband and I are getting ready for a big move across the country and with our puppy and our cat, and we're also expecting some big life changes in the near future. So cross your fingers for me, and I miss you all, and I hope that you all are doing very well too. Enjoy this episode of Love and Brief. Bye!